Market Day Report. Welcome to a Monday. We're glad you're with us today. Okay, let's jump into the markets. Let's see what happened in the overnight session before we start trading for today. Now, this is a market that's been higher 4 consecutive sessions. Now, I'm not counting the overnight sessions, but the day sessions, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all 4 days, higher closes. What will happen today? Well, we do know a 6-cent loss in the overnight session at 443 1/4. 4 sessions higher for the bean market. Mixed trade overnight. Tick higher, though, on new crop, 1037 1/4. Wheat market. Now, these first two, Chicago and Kansas City, have been higher for 3 consecutive sessions, though a big sell-off in the overnight session for Chicago, losing over a dime lower for Kansas City overnight, and spring wheat down 5.5, 655 1/4 on the D's. And then the cotton market. Cotton has been higher 2 consecutive sessions overnight, 10 points higher, 68.31. All right, to get prepared to trade this week, let's go to Springfield, Missouri. President, Midwest Market Solutions is Brian Hoops. Brian, welcome back to the show. And what are you watching this week?
Hey, good morning, Tony. Well, hope everybody's weekend was good, and we're off to a good start this morning. We will have supply and demand report on Thursday morning. That's 11 o'clock. Estimates are out, and most people are expecting USDA to increase corn exports in Thursday's report, and that will tighten up the balance sheets for corn by about 25 billion bushels. Now, they could do more than that. They could do 50 million or more. It will certainly be justified based off of our current export pace. We already have sold enough corn and committed to sell enough to reach the USDA forecast. So they really need to raise it up. The question will be is how aggressive do they want to be Thursday? Because we have Brazil's safrinha corn crop, only about 1% harvested. It's very slow going because their yields are so large, and those large yields are expected to undercut U.S. exports through the rest of the summer, and that means our exports should slow down. You also have very good growing conditions forecast for not just this week, but also into next week. And we'll get into the middle of June. We're going to have nearly ideal conditions, warmer temperatures, which is what most people desire, and at least normal to above normal precipitation, which I think everybody would be looking forward to if, in fact, that does occur. Crop ratings out this afternoon, likely to improve 1 to 2% for corn and soybeans and for spring wheat. Now, the winter wheat conditions may be steady to actually lower after too much rain has fallen in parts of Oklahoma and Kansas, but the wheat crop is looking ahead to weather improving and harvest starting to really ramp up in the next week or so after some of these fields dry out, and that's putting some pressure against our wheat markets overnight.
A great way to kind of set the table for us. So we'll come back and how about we have the main course, that's livestock. We'll talk livestock futures in a moment. Market Day Report continues after this. All right, we'll watch for cash cattle to develop this week. I came across, though, I took a screenshot back in March. It was March the 6th. Conversation I was having with the president of Midwest Market Solutions is Brian Hoops, and I was just looking at the live cattle in the background, and that June contract was trading 192.70. Look where it is today, 226.02. is where we finished. Yeah, it was 192.70. What about the August? It was trading at 191.27 and 218.72, up $1.90. I just thought that was interesting because I was going through some old screenshots and found that and thought, wow, look how far this market has come since early March. What about the feeders? Well, feeders have done the same thing, up 85 on the August, settling 310 on Friday. And then the hogs have been higher as well. July up 242 at 107.22, and the August at 109.45, up 240. So let's bring him back in. I've tagged him a couple of times. Brian, yeah, that was kind of interesting going back to that early March and just seeing how much these markets have appreciated.
It's really amazing, isn't it? Back when I started in the 90s, a $10 move for the entire year would have been considered a pretty sizable move. Now we're talking $30 in just a matter of a few months. It's a lot of volatility, a lot of opportunities, but also have to really protect yourselves if you're on the wrong side of those moves, and that can happen as well. Cash cattle trade is what is really dominating things since that March timeframe. Cash markets have gone sharply higher, and they were higher again last week. We're looking at $10 to $12 better. Dress trade last week, trading up into the 380 range. We have live trade in the north in that 240 type range. In the southern plains, it was 230 plus. And right now, the calls are for higher once again. Now, the cutouts have kept up with the cash markets very well up until this last week. They did not gain hardly anything at all, maybe $1 in the choice and almost $3 in the select, but that hurts the packer margins. We're probably at $150, $155 in the red right now per animal. At some point here, they're going to have to address that, either slowing kills or even closing plants. And we heard that last week that there may be a plant that's been closed, but we've heard that rumor for weeks now. And the market kind of shrugged it off after just an initial reaction. We rallied right back after Tuesday. We came back with a vengeance Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So calls this week again, stronger. Cattle on feed report comes out in a couple of weeks. It looks to be very friendly once again. Another bullish type report coming out as far as that on feed numbers go. These supplies are just not increasing anytime soon.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Brian. And by the way, you close down a plant. Those are hard to restart if you leave it idle for very long. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. Brian Hoops, President, Midwest Market Solutions, getting us started on a Monday.